right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
Not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the
girls are fighting. Ah! This is so sick. Oh my God. Anyway, let's get to Tim Pool because the right wing meltdown is continuing. Kremlin funded streamer Tim Pool says he's in debt and ending his show after Russia cut off his $100,000 a week. Let's take a look.
Leave us. We have 2 weeks left in the year before we go on our Christmas hiatus. You know, I'm not a big fan of any kind of hiatus. I would prefer just to work. But it is taxing. It is grueling, of course. And there's a lot of infrastructure here that requires me to work all day, every day, Monday to Friday, with some extra work on the weekends, usually meetings. And I'm probably going to have a stroke.
Oh, man, it's such a tough job, dude. Remember when all these guys were yelling at me because of a misunderstanding, a clip that was, again, boosted on Reddit and where I talked about how streaming actually is soul-sucking in a different way, where it like eradicates your social battery in ways that, in my experience at least, like other social aspects of a regular 9-to-5 never did. Having said that, of course, I obviously understand the privileged position that I'm in. And all of these guys went crazy with that. They love talking about that. All these like anti-union, anti-labor motherfuckers, from Keemstar down to like Tim Pool, Bench Bureau, everybody was like running victory laps around that. Here's Tim Pool talking about how he's just working so hard. Little baby working so hard. First of all, I stream 7 to 9 hours every single day, 7 days a week. Now, maybe we'll say 6 days a week. Tim Pool, on the other hand, goes live for what? 2 hours, 3 hours? However many times a week? The this guy talking about?
My health's actually pretty good. My blood pressure is great. My resting heart rate is actually around 45. I exercise quite a bit. Haven't been able to skate in the past month or two, the holidays, and But we have to have these conversations, and I have been with the people, our contractors, people we work with, our vendors, partners. And one thing is clear: the violence will get worse. It is going to escalate. We cannot keep going as status quo. Something has to change. It may be that, as we described after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the threat to come and shoot up our studio and our workplace, we asked, at what point do we say we can't do this anymore? The cost of running.
Just got laid off from my job at Timcast. If anyone has any leads on a podcast producer gigs, let me know. Yeah, this is a strange time to admit this, but yes, we fired March and he started working at Timcast, and I guess he got fired from Timcast as well. What a bad streak of luck for this guy, huh? Now, do I trust Tim Pool is actually going to quit podcasting? No, don't threaten me with a good time. It's not going to happen. He says this every goddamn year. Okay? He says this every goddamn year, dude. I don't think he's quitting. I think he's just trying to farm sympathy points.
Timcast IRL studio and the projects around it exceeds the amount of money it brings in. That's just that breaking point, isn't it, for any business? If you need $100 to, run your restaurant, but you're only bringing 90, you go out of business. The issue? The cost isn't cameras or lights.
What is crazy about this, by the way, is that I believe someone shot at his studio or something. That's what he was saying, right? All crowdsourced entertainment gets a boost in sales when you claim having to quit. If things are going fine and you fake this, then you make big bucks from a grift. I don't think things are going fine at the Tim Pool compound. I don't think things are going fine at the Tim Pool compound, like whether he got shot at or not, okay? He says he has footage but won't release it because he doesn't want people to know where the cameras are. Well, clearly, knowing where the cameras are haven't stopped people from shooting at him. So I think things are not going fine because of the same shit that I was talking about with Ben Shapiro. Things are not going fine because these guys actually do have a lot of employees and stuff. And when they're not actually getting a ton of right-wing big-ticket donors to prop up their franchise, or getting money, in Tim Pool's case, directly from a foreign adversary, Russia, to the tune of $4 million, they have to downsize, especially if Tim Pool, who literally dropped out of 4th grade, for the record, for those of you who don't know, if you want to understand like what his mentality, what his brain looks like, what his brain capacity looks like. A lot of things start making sense about Tim Pool when you realize that he actually doesn't have education beyond the 4th grade level. Or 7th grade? Is it 7th grade? The hardest grade? Yeah, that's why. 4th grade is when shapes get pretty tough. Anyway, my point, he dropped out at 14. His dad said it was 4th grade. He says he dropped out at 14. Anyway, bro got left behind, okay? No child left behind. Tim Pool said, bet. I'll show you what. In any case, this is what happens when you're a child left behind, okay? When you see, yeah, he looked at middle school and said, that's a woke institution, okay? Calculus, that's the invention of the transgender agenda. I am not going to learn about those sorts of things. You cannot teach me. Yeah, algebra is woke. He got held back in 4th grade till he was 14, then gave up. My point is, he probably doesn't have the mental faculties, the bare minimum mental faculties necessary to run an operation when the money inevitably dries out. Okay? Like fiscal responsibility, I suspect, is not a strong suit, as evidenced by the many different insane advertisement campaigns that Tim Pool has actually dumped a load of money into, whether it be putting a billboard on Times Square, or whether it be putting a billboard everywhere, really. I mean, if you go around the country, you will see Tim Pool's face on the side of highways. Not exactly certain as to how much real eyeballs and real donations that translates to. It could also be the shit ton of money he dumped into purchasing a skate park just as a flex when the locals did not want him to participate in a competition there. It could be the money that he spent on the decals that he got purchased as a form of marketing on NASCAR and a NASCAR car. It could also be the money that he dumped into launching a music career. I don't know. Or the fact that he has to pay people to be his friend. The point is, he's done all of those things, but at the same time, while he's done all of those things and his burn rate has gone up year over year, his numbers have actually not gone up. So he's not actually bringing in a new audience or even reaching the same level of prominence that he once did with his commentary. If you go look at his Social Blade, let's take a look. Social Blade, Tim Pool. I wonder where he's at. Oh, he's got a C+ grade. That's not good. Even my YouTube channel has a higher grade than that. 1.4 million subs. 3.2 million views in the last 30 days. That's like not even a third of the views that I get on the Hasanabi channel. Things start to make sense.
The platform called
When you look at his view counts, 62,000, 27,000, 37,000, 8.6 thousand. These view counts are abysmal, dude. They are abysmal. His other YouTube channel, the big one with 2.58 million subscribers. Let's take a look at that. Maybe that one's a little bit better. Right? This is a different one, right? Yeah. This one has 2.58 million. This one has 1.47 million. Okay, this is the main channel that he has. 13K, 46K, 13K, 26K, 52K. You just can't sustain any business. All the while, Candace Owens is actually calling out Timothy Pool right now to an audience of 152,000 people. Tim Pool tried to do the thing that many other content demons do, which is identify a popular right-wing figure and attack them for like the last month or so. Initially posting snide remarks about Candace Owens and subtweeting Candace Owens, and then directly talking about Candace Owens. Let's take a look at how Candace Owens is dealing with it.
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man. He
said, Tim Pool, you actually have hair under that beanie. You're actually a woman, Tim Pool.
Secondly, Tim Pool doesn't even have the intellect to understand that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. Thinks
Let's
it's
take
an
a
act
look.
of
Hold on.
bravery
Let's watch what Timmy
to
P
attack
said.
me in this moment. So take a listen to Tim
Let's
Pool.
see what Timmy PP had to say.
Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with what we have to deal with. She's a piece of. She's making everyone.
The last time I saw him this enraged was when he was talking about Ukraine is the enemy of mankind. Oh my God, he hit the soy slam. Wow. Calm down, Timmy.
Else suffer, and all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, as you power, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the.
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the
girls are fighting. Ah! This is so sick. Oh my God.
one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two no one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property?
So there's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what you are seeing right there is on a display of testosterone. Men that speak to women like this are not tough guys, okay? What you are seeing is actually a display of estrogen. Everything he is doing there is somebody who is not a man, he is not tough, and he would never dare to speak to a man like that, right? People that find that very easy.
Yeah, that's what 45 beats per minute looks like
to
in the heart
understand
rate side.
that we put him in the thumbnail because he accused me in a full episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, which we showed and contextualized, of being someone who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination. So he thinks he's being accused. No, you accused me of that in like a actually, I think it was 2-hour episode with Milo Yiannopoulos, in which Milo defended me and explained that I am not to blame for the lame excuses that the feds have given us regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination, and that if we do need to have some spiritual searching in terms of what the Republican Party has become, that the time for that is now, okay? So this little, and I really like, he's a small person for this, a very small person who is also theatrical, Timothy Smollett, who pretends every year like people are trying to kill him. He's a chronic fence sitter, okay? Pretending like he is braving the wilderness for being the 110,000th person who's making a video about Candace Owens in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. He thinks he's pioneering that. Are you out of your mind? It's only the safest thing you can do. What's
True.
next? Is he going to make a video and call Kanye West anti-Semitic? Like that's what he's pioneering right now. Oh my gosh, so original. Like, is he going to call Donald Trump evil in 2016? This is the storm that he's.
Hold on now, Candace, you did that too. Candace, you did that too.
He is a fundamentally weak man for what he did there. He should apologize. He won't. I don't care what happens to his platform. He's now essentially trying
Candace
out.
Owens
He's
literally
under
had a
financial
website.
pressure. He's trying out for Zionists.
Candace Owens literally had a website shitting on Donald Trump in
They will cut him a check.
2016.
I hope it happens for you, Tim. I hope it makes you happy. But to do that to someone who has never done anything to you other than disagree with you.
You said
about
this is why are we watching this? I don't know, because 154,000 people are currently watching. You can't see because people are subscribing to the Piker Broadcasting Service at an alarming rate, okay? At an alarming rate in massively consequential numbers. Therefore, you can't see it because the emotes are actually hiding the viewership. But the Piker Broadcasting Service, unlike Tim Pool, who is funded by the Kremlin, is sponsored by you, the viewers. For you, the viewers. Your subscriptions are the only way that you can support the show. The PBS, the real PBS, Piker Broadcasting Service, is for you and by you. Your subscriptions, totally voluntary, allow me to maintain editorial control. No ads, no nothing. You can also rewind the broadcast now if you are on a desktop, if you subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service. Everyone knows you're funded by Hamas, bro. I think they I don't think they have any money left to give me, you know?
Charlie Kirk narrative. I have
Was
not
Tim Pool actually funded by Russia? Yes. Oh, that's there was a whole FBI case on it, Chatter. Come on.
focused my content on you, and anytime your name has come up, it has been because you have explicitly been attacking me. You are a coward. You are less than a man. Okay? You are behaving, your type right there is like a person who's having financial issues and yet decides to go out and put 100K on a poker game. And when he loses and is a further 100K in the hole, comes back home and beats his wife and kids and thinks he's a tough guy. That's how you're acting right now. I'm not your wife. I'm not your kids. Get your affairs in order and stop blaming me, because I'm actually traversing down the path that hasn't been traveled by standing up and saying that something corrupt happened and Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And I don't care.
She's both right and wrong. Like,
Okay?
you
I
know,
don't care about your next
saying
year,
Jews are
midterms,
responsible
whether or
for
not
everything is
they're
not
Asian
necessarily a new meta.
because I don't want to stand
However,
next to people
she is right
that would cover up
because
Charlie Kirk's assassination. I
her
hope that I have
conspiracies are
made
so insane and go far beyond Jews are
after,
responsible for everything
a message
that
from
like
someone
she
responsible.
kind of is
All right, you guys,
reinventing
it
the
is getting
game.
Cold outside. December
Oh
is
my
here. The
God. And she hit the ad break. Yo, that's awesome. She is so goated with this. She literally will insta-lock an ad in between like controversy, whatever the going on. She'll just go, boom, ad break.
investigating what happened.
Should be like, I'm mourning the loss of my best friend, Charlie Kirk. And here is what's helping me cope with that loss. Flank steak.
Are equally as brave, right? Ryan Matta has been amazing on X. Melissa, I always tell you about Melissa. Mel is Village Crazy Lady. She does really great work. And I keep wrongly branding her. I'm laughing as a Catholic. A couple weeks ago, she's like, I'm not Catholic. I'm like, I am so sorry. I don't know why I thought she was Catholic. I made that up. Hopefully she will be sued. Okay. That's what I will say to that. And she's doing a really great job, particularly focusing on that faith angle, because I do believe that the faith was the infiltration at Turning Point USA. And it is, by the way, a fact that in recent, in the last year, they even hired former cartel weapons traffickers at Turning Point
What?
USA who found God. Okay, so
What?
they were trafficking from Poland through to Mexico, weapons and drugs, but then they found God. Unemployment. Like, okay, I don't know what to make of that. Who am I to question
Dude, what
somebody
the
saying found God?
Dude,
but
every day
Arizona
she comes
is
up
quite
with
a
a,
place, and
she cooks up a
I worry
new
about what happened
insane
in
thing. It's
certain
She's
level
got
in
range,
business.
baby.
They offer you what they say. What is the expression? It's either the silver or the lead. This
Bro, she
guy
gets
proves
so
there are a lot
much
of
from the
incredible men
donos
in the
is
military.
crazy. This was the full clip of Tim's crash out, by the way. Candace Owens
Occam's
is
razor.
a bleep. Tim Pool has the biggest meltdown of his career.
Suggests
Could he
Robinson
be
is
right?
the likely culprit. We will see what happens in the trial when evidence is presented, but there's literally no other story. Just a bunch of cards on the internet saying stupid. And what that does is the organization that helped get Donald Trump elected, which needs
Whoa, he said the R word, bro. Can he say that?
to persist. You don't got to be a fan of it, but it certainly will help get individual congressional candidates elected and stop Democrats from launching new committees and putting more people in prison like Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro. Instead, it's being gutted by psychopaths telling people to pull their donations. So when this organization burns to the ground or whatever the happens to it, maybe they're fine. The organization that's rallying young people, causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history, is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. It's evil. So you know what? When someone pulls in front of my property and fires on it several times, I'm sitting here looking at these vile pieces of and thinking to myself, for what purpose will I stick my neck out if this is what happens after Charlie Kirk is killed? Candace Owens is a evil scumbag. She is a degenerate. She is burning everything down, and she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with we have to deal with. She's a piece of she's making everyone else suffer. And all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that.
Calm down, Tim. Damn, Tim. Hey, yo, 45 resting BPM. Nope. No. He's at 180. He's maxing out, dude. His heart's about to explode. Oh, no. He's mad as hell. Like I said, this is the only time I've seen him do the soy slam. The only other time I've seen him, it was when Russia was giving him $4 million to do that.
Scumbag. She is a degenerate.
You gotta run it back. Ooh!
She is.
He said the C word. Oh my God. This is awesome. Hey, yo. Why is he so mad, bro? What? Dude, this has been something that I've been like kind of tuning into for the past month or so. Ever since Charlie Kirk got shot, okay, and Candace started popping off big time, so much so that he got an entire nation state and its leadership to come out and be like, we didn't execute Charlie Kirk. Please don't say that we did that. And Candace Owens single-handedly destroyed the mainstream narrative about who was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. Okay? Ever since then, Candace has been on a tear. Okay? She has been popping the off. And every other day where she goes live, there's 100,000 plus people watching. Okay? 100,000 plus people watching live for the 1 hour that she goes live. And she's making a ton. Okay? She is farming those donos. She is farming those ad campaigns. Yeah. There are like $500 super chats coming in. Candace Owens makes millions of dollars from her show, and media says, yeah, sure. I don't know if it's at least $9 million a year by his analysis. I don't know how valid his analysis is, but she is making a shit ton of money at a time when Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, and all the old guard, right? All of those guys are hemorrhaging their audiences. They've all lost their audiences. They've lost their audiences to Asmongold. They've lost their audiences to Candace Owens. They've lost their audience to Nick Fuentes. And basically, this is really pissed off Tim Pool, okay? Tim Pool has been losing his mind over this. It's pure petty jealousy, okay? And initially, Tim Pool was like tweeting out vague posts about how I think someone can link it in here if you saw it. Like, he was vague posting about like, oh, if I had no honor, I too could make a lot of money like some of these other people, but we all know I can't do that, blah, 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 all right? And it was very obvious that he was talking about Candace Owens, right? Has he ever attempted to come for you? Oh, that's interesting that you say that. He did, actually. He made a, where is it? He made a YouTube video about how I was actually on a downtrend during the peak of people leaving my community because I was not pro-Israel after October 7. He's made numerous videos on me, throughout the years, but the one that I remember so vividly was when he made that YouTube video being like, oh, Hasan is actually falling apart. He's going to quit his career or whatever. I never said any of those things, right? But basically, that was a funny moment because that never actually happened. And, I think my career is fine as opposed to Tim Pool's career, which is falling apart. No, I can't turn my mic up to match the clips, okay? I can actually lower the audio from the clips. Stop spamming. In any case, over the last couple of weeks, he started to address Candace Owens directly. He went from claiming, Tim Pool went from claiming that, you know, there are people that we all know that have no loyalty and no ethics, and that's why they're making a lot of money, to just straight up making fun of Candace Owens in his own way. I received information this morning to put the final piece together for me. I now can say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by Candace Owens and some of the very people who claim to be his friend. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence for my claims. And I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person who donated to this organization to say thank you. You were lied to, and Candace knew. Oh, here's the video. Yeah.
We have this tweet.
Hasan Piker viewership plummets. Hasan breaks down as Gen Z reject leftism. How'd that go? March 28th, 2024. Hasan Piker viewership plummets. Interesting. Interesting coming from Timmy Boy. It's weird. Let's see. What is my monthly viewership right now? Let me take a look real quick. Let me take a look. What's that? Okay, I got a copy strike. Okay, we'll do that later. Jesus Christ. Where are we at? Channel Analytics, 1.7 million, 1.7 million subscribers. Last 28 days, 21 million views in the last 28 days, which is, you know, not great. Not great for the channel. I think last month it was like around 30 plus million. But it happened to be that that happens to be 3 times the size of Tim Pool's channel. Or not 3, sorry, 10 times the size of Tim Pool's channel. What a fall off this has been. What is this? Hold on. Where were we? Where were we? Where were we? Where was I? What was I looking at? I don't want to lose the thing that I was talking about here. Hold on. Let's turn off some of these things. I'm closing out some of my tabs here. You didn't fall off though. You didn't even get nominated for Anti-Semite of the Year. That's true. And I didn't even get a streamer award. These morons tried saying you were washed with 17K subs at the time, but Twitch Tracker hadn't updated their numbers for the full month, and these idiots ran with it. You ended up having almost 48K subs that month. Wait, when did that happen? I didn't even see that. They said that I had 17,000 subs. That's true. Chatters, the Hasanabi broadcast is sponsored by you, the viewers, for you, the viewers, the Piker Broadcasting Service. We have... Our fall off is imminent. It's what Tim is talking about in the video from March 2024. Oh, okay. Please do not look at the top 10 channels from USA by hours watched in 2025. At the number 3 slot, my name might show you. My name might come up on the top 3 slot. But make no mistake, we have fallen off, okay? Any day now, my fall off is imminent. And also, another fall off that's imminent is... the People's Republic of China. Both myself and the People's Republic of China is going to fall off any day now. Okay? Big time. It is an inevitability. Just wait a little longer. Both are on the brink of failure. I agree. Of course, you can stop me from falling off by subscribing to the Piker Broadcasting Service. You're being sarcastic, right? Yes, I am. That's what I meant when I said I'm at a very Chinese point in my life. Just one more context puke. Yeah.
Burning everything down.
Back to great.
And she's gloating and smiling
Divide
while she
by
does it.
spiders,
And you know what
they
she told me? She has no security. She doesn't deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these conservatives out there that send me these messages have no balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't DM me like I did something for you as you cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right now.
Yeah, that was the...
I'm done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors shouldn't give two. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall and one fat guy, and she doesn't give a about her security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my property and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who try to live there. How the am I even supposed to sell this property? And, you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy. And it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie. She loved Charlie. And she is burning everything down that he built because she is evil. She is evil. And I'll say it again. This conservative movement is fractured. It's fried, whatever it is. Okay? Republicans are on track to lose the midterms. they were actually trending the other direction until Charlie Kirk was murdered.
Yeah.
And this is the point, isn't it? The most effective political assassination in history.
No, I don't think Republicans were on track to win the midterms until Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That's Delulu. The reason as to why the Republicans are crashing and burning, or at least their base is hemorrhaging, has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's status as being alive or being dead. Nothing at all.
So just to
If anything, shouldn't that have been a galvanizing factor in the base? Shouldn't that have been the moment, the pivotal moment where everyone turned around and went, oh my God, the left is trying to kill us. They're out to get us. They're out to physically do violence to us. Oh wait, they did try to do that. And you know who that up for them? Candace Owens, baby. So technically, he ain't wrong when he says Candace Owens ruined our plans, because Candace Owens straight up admit you're wrong. Tim is correct. After Charlie died, Republicans were too scared to put their necks out. His analysis is correct. Bend the knee, little bro. The only thing he's right about is the fact that Republicans tried to come out and unify around a message that it was actually Chuck Schumer that was out to kill them. Okay. Now, how successful that message would be, given, things that people can visualize and see with the way that Democrats talk about issues, that I guess we're never going to find out how successful that would have been in the absence of Candace Owens coming out and throwing a bomb in the middle of that conversation by immediately shifting every conservative's attention back to Israel by saying this was Israel. But I do think, and this is true, Candace's total insanity over Kirk's death reads more as someone grieving a person than his wife hosting $10,000 per seat dinner parties, weirdly enough. So not surprised his fans have turned to her over Turning Point USA. I said this at the time. Candace Owens, out of all of the conservatives, including Erica Kirk, was the only person that seemed to be genuinely grieving Charlie Kirk's death. Now, do I think she's still a grifter? Absolutely. Okay, I do. Do I think she's really farming this shit? Oh, 100%. But it was very clear to me that she was one of the few people that was like, I need to take some time for myself. This is ridiculous. I can't believe it. And especially with how organized the professional Republican side was in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination, it does feel to me like a lot of people looked at Candace Owens and were like, well, they were really close friends, actually. Erica Kirk moving like prime Grim Repeat right now. Yeah, didn't she just do a CBS town hall, actually? There's also this. More debates between Candace, who blocked me many, many years ago. But I think what happened, she also, where is it? CBS News is doing a town hall with Erica Kirk, no? Which, by the way, Barry Weiss, CBS News, you already know what it is. CBS to host town hall with Erica Kirk to talk about the aftermath of husband's death. Shouts out to Barry Weiss. So that's the reason why these guys are falling apart.
And thanks to the likes of the vile Candace Owens, she has turned Turning Point into the perpetrators of the crime that was against them. I don't get paid.
All the while, the Republican side went so heavy-handed with the Charlie Kirk posture and immediately went into punishment mode. On the one hand, you had Republicans screaming bloody murder, that they have to start leftist figures. On the other hand, they tried to keep up this narrative that it was actually the left that's responsible for all the violent rhetoric that ended up killing Charlie Kirk. But this heavy-handed nature of the administration coming after the likes of Jimmy Kimmel and firing hundreds of people, which I tweeted about as well, which got a response from one of Charlie Kirk's homies at the time, led to all the Kirkification memes. People obviously are all out of shit to give. They're all out of give. It was virtually impossible for Gen Z and Gen Alpha to take this seriously, or take anything seriously, really, when material conditions are falling apart. And on top of that, Charlie Kirk had most notoriously said, some people are going to die in school shootings, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. And then he was the one who ended up dying in a school shooting. So obviously, for many Gen Z that have seen their friends get shot at or have to go to school in fear that they might get shot at. Hold on, I'm trying to find the tweet where I talked about the Kirkification real quick. I'm looking at here it is, because Andrew Corbett or whatever responded to it. Yeah, Andrew Colvett. Sorry. I said, this is part of the reason at least 600 Americans lost their jobs for saying stuff about Charlie Kirk, including 50 academics and university administrators. By contrast, 22 academics fired in 2020, 160 total fired for pro-Palestine views, making the Kirk crackdown the most extreme form of cancel culture so far. To which I reply with, this is part of the reason why the We Are Charlie Kirk and Kirkification memes went insanely viral. You can't mandate reverence for a generation that saw their classmates get slaughtered in school shootings. Andrew Colvert responded with, no one mandated pro-Charlie posts. All that was asked was that they didn't cheer the assassination of an innocent, peaceful father and husband. Not a high bar. If someone couldn't meet the minimum, then employers were provided an unobstructed view of their employees' depravity. This is just cancel culture. You can't try to justify it. You did cancel culture. Own it. And now we're living in a world where people are talking about, you know, getting kirked up. Let's get back to Timmy's crash out.
By any of these people, I'm not on good terms necessarily with Turning Point USA. They didn't invite me to their stupid event. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. They invited me back after I started criticizing Candace. I'm not going to your event. I'm over all of this. The last thing that I need to deal with is a bunch of cowards in conservative media refusing to stand up to her. Megyn Kelly, come on. I appreciate the kind words, but come on. Such pathetic bullshit. You know, and I get people saying, Tim, you know, thank you so much for talking about it. I don't care. I'm not doing a favor for anybody. I'm not doing this to benefit anybody. No. Nobody's paying me. There's no Russia. There's no Israel. There's just me sticking my neck out and then risking dying for what? A bunch of cowards that don't want to stand up to protect themselves?
Wait, when he says there's no Russia, there's no Israel, there was Russia. So I guess he's just crying because the Russian funds have run out. But does that mean that there's also legitimacy to the notion that maybe he's getting paid by Israel too? Because we know when he said there's no Russia, that's a lie. Well, I mean, maybe there's no Russia anymore, but we know for a fact that Russia was paying him. So the fact that he just volunteered this information about Israel leads me to believe that maybe Israel was paying him too. He did, after all, publicly meet with Benjamin Netanyahu. I guess he was pushing both Z's. True. Pushing Z type 2. Real bummer for Tim, man.
People like Candace Owens.
I couldn't believe that she put you in the thumbnail of her piece today.
I'm done.
The idea that she didn't, that you had some benefit or that you benefit somehow. Like
she benefited. I think she's a Fed, and I think she killed Charlie. No one benefited more than her. And now she is, when you look at what's stopping us.
You know what's really funny about this is just pure jealousy. Like, this is no longer commentary about like if you were to do sincere commentary or serious commentary about the impact of Candace Owens, like, you know, betraying Charlie Kirk, that's one thing. But this literally just, Tim here is so mad. He's so mad that he can't even hide why he's upset. Like, he's just genuinely upset because Candace Owens is farming Charlie Kirk's death. It's so awesome. And now he's saying Candace Owens is, he's so upset that he's like calling Candace Owens a Fed and like actually defaming Candace Owens to a degree where like Candace could actually take a leak, it could actually sue him for defamation. Oh my God. That would be, oh, please do that. Oh, that would be so sick. Oh my God. I wonder what kind of delicious commentary would come out of that if Candace Owens actually sued Tim Pool for defamation for saying that she was responsible for Charlie Kirk's death as a federal agent. Oh, the discovery. Oh my God, please.
From winning in 2026 right now, what the biggest threat and the biggest fear we have is, it is the disarray on the right. It is the fracturing of the coalition of all the different voices that came together and stopped the neoliberal, liberal economic order machine that was coming out and telling everybody to chop their dicks off and that you had to get ejected or get locked in your house. And here we have a coalition resisting and rejecting that.
What part of neoliberalism has to do with transgender stuff? That's confusing to me. The neoliberal machine ordered you to chop your off? I guess I must have missed the memo on that one. Yeah, Ronald Reagan, Mr. Advocate of Transgenderism. This is why when Donald Trump says everything's transgender, people immediately understand what he's saying. Because these guys have one frequency, man. They're so lost in the sauce. Unironically, this commentary also devolves into everybody transgender. The trans people have to do with this? It's almost as though he's saying like, hey, remember how much trans people, remember how good things were back then? Why can't we go back to that? Come on, everybody. Get more hateful now. Things were so good.
Charlie Kirk dies, and he's not perfect. He loved Israel. Some people don't like that, but he certainly did organize a movement that brought people together, that helped get Trump elected, helped Republicans win, and resisted what the Democratic Party had been doing and these psychopath institutions. I don't want to go back to COVID. Does everybody remember what that was like? When you were locked in your home, you had to wear 2 masks, and you couldn't go anywhere unless they stuck you in the arm. And the only resistance we had was these feckless loser Republicans who've got nothing done over the past year. And now Charlie Kirk was murdered. And we say, holy crap, what do we do? How do we keep things together? And Candace, with a smile on her face, and Ian Carroll and all the rest of them say,
Trump was literally president for like most of the shit that he's complaining about.
Did it to themselves. They destroyed themselves. Pull your donations because they work for Israel. Even Nick Fuentes calling it out, saying this is psychotic. So when we lose in the midterms and the Democrats bring back their panels and their subpoenas and they start arresting people like they had already done in the past 4 years, and then we get whatever the equivalent of lockdowns is going to be, and you get President Gavin Newsom, you can mark it all back to this moment when you had evil stand, scream, and cowards refuse to do anything.
With all due respect, always every single president loses in midterms.
You can come and you can burn everything I have to the ground, and I will happily live in a van down by the river. I don't care to be number one. I don't need to be number one. What I care about is what is true and what will help this country and what works. And she is a scumbag, okay? And she's getting worse every day. And she crossed the line. She continually crosses the line every day, insinuating that Turning Point literally killed the guy who made them all rich. And I hear this in the streets, and at a certain point, I'm like, holy shit. We're going to lose the midterms. We're going to lose the midterms. Then we're going to lose in 2028. And it's because she's a piece of shit. Because instead of saying, guys, let's come together and figure out how to work together, she says the stupidest crap. And now everybody's running around divided and broken. For what reason? For literally what reason?
Because they killed Charlie Kirk in broad daylight, and we don't care about your stupid midterms. We just don't care. Like, they really... This is how they view Charlie Kirk. That's what I say. Was anything in his life real? Tim Pool is going off right now because he's like, it's not the time. You guys need to be mules. You know
what's crazy? Charlie was such a Trump fighter and so invested in that cause that he actually wouldn't want the midterms to be flubbed because of this. This is the perfect legacy for Charlie Kirk and the entire conservative machine, honestly. Hoisted on their own petard.
Voting in the very corrupt people that are lying to your faces right now about what happened to Charlie Kirk. It is not the time because it is your job to get people into office. This is what I mean when I suggest that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. So he really thinks he's doing something there. And actually what he's doing is proving my point. These people just saw Charlie as a means to an end, okay? As a political horse that they could ride. And so for whatever reason, they got tired riding him. And now they're angry because they also were going to whip the horse, the ghost of Charlie Kirk, and say, we still need you to shore up votes. And it is inconvenient that people who actually cared about Charlie and saw him as a, I don't know, human being, want to know why he was publicly executed in front of us and why we're being lied to about everything. That is why Tim Pool is upset, because midterms, it's going to be my fault, not the fault of the feds for feeding us BS. It's not going to be the fault of Turning Point USA for lying and thinking that they're brighter than us and seemingly not caring about the investigation. It's not going to be the fault of, I don't know, maybe actual politicians like Donald Trump, who's a president of the United States, and look us in the face and said, are we still talking about the Epstein files? No, that's not his fault. The fault is Candace Owens for wanting to figure out who murdered her friend. And don't you guys get it? Like, we're just an algorithm. Why do you care so much about humans? Like, why are you a human? Like, if somebody in your family dies, you need to focus on midterms. Okay? That is the point of a Tim Pool show. It doesn't matter what you are going through at home. I want you guys to hear this, okay? I don't care if you have family members that are dying, family members who have died, if you have children that you care about and you maybe don't want to live in a world that's run by pedophiles. You need to put that all aside and vote for whoever the hell Tim Pool tells you to vote for. I just want to platform that idea. I think obviously there's something wrong with me, and Tim Pool's got it figured out. His soul seems like it's really intact and it's not for sale at all.
As you can see, I'm sitting in Greg Gutfeld's seat. But why, you ask, would this be happening? The answer is I called French intelligence, and something may or may not have happened to Greg.
It's hilarious. Laughing about actual violence is apparently hilarious so long as it comes through in the context of humor. All is fair in love and laughs. And Greg Gutfeld, after all, is a comedian. So they're not being tribal at all. They're just being funny. Remember, I don't make these rules. I just follow them. And so I'd like to show you another comedian from my tribe. His name is Ace Smart. And he's going to make a funny too. And remember, it's never violent as long as we're telling jokes and it's said in front of a comedian. Take it away, Ace Smart.
No one in the United States should be...
Bro, they're literally woke. They're outwoken each other. She's saying that words are violence because Ben Shapiro made a joke about the conspiracy theories that that Candace Owens was going off on. Oh my God. They're having a woke off. Muted right before the kill shot. Hold on. I'm going to show you.
And it's said in front of a comedian. Take it away, Ace Smart.
No one in the United States should be retiring at 65 years old. Frankly, I think retirement itself is a stupid idea unless you have some sort of health problem.
I wonder if I slap the out you, would that be anti-Semitic? Because I don't want to be anti-Semitic. I just want to slap the shit. Shut the up. I'm so sick of you cornball ass trying to stay relevant in front of that podcast equipment. Shut the up. You want us to go to work and grind for the rest of our life while you sit in front of the thing and sound and tell us, shut the up. I speak for everybody that ever woke up on a Monday morning. Shut the up.
Passionate, hilarious, relatable. It's funny. As long as it's a joke, it's funny.
I mean, if there's anybody that maybe should be aligned, it's the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace crew, Dave Smith. But here's what Nick Fuentes had to say. Do you have that?
Why was she at Tucker Carlson's Christmas party in Nashville last night? Why was she at Dollywood on Thanksgiving, the theme park? So, allegedly, the French government and the Israeli intelligence have put a hit out on you. They've paid millions of dollars to kill you, but you're walking around a theme park in your town? You're walking around, for those that don't know, Dollywood.
Dude, we're missing so much. We were missing so much drama. These guys are literally eating each other alive every day. And we're focused on what? Bullshit. Oh my God, the affordability crisis. Oh, is Donald Trump going to bomb Venezuela? Meanwhile, this is why I was like, today I'm going to do a little bit of hog watch. I'm going to do a little bit of slop watch. Okay. Nope. Boring. Watching watching conservative commentators blow each other's careers up is excellent, dude. No wonder all the flop tubers love doing a million Hasanabi is crashing and burning videos. I'm getting it now. Yeah, it is fun to watch your ideological opposition fight one another with regular frequency. Except the problem is those slop tubers present themselves as like progressives when they're very clearly not.